Yeah, Miami Marlins, they've got an off day. They're still part on their East Coast road trip, and we're pleased to be joined by Miami Marlin Xavier Edwards. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So when you watch that footage and you think about that night, that cycle, and also a part of that cycle was your first career home run. You see the guys cheering for you in the dugout. What comes to mind?
I mean, yeah, a lot of emotions. You know, I've never hit for a cycle in my life, so for my first one to be in the big leagues, it's a really cool moment. So I'm glad I got to spend it with my teammates right there.
What kind of feedback, texts, calls did you hear after that?
A lot of texts, a lot of tags on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. But a lot of family that reached out, so I'm glad I could have it with them.
Talk about the grind. Now, originally drafted by the Padres, traded to the Rays, then you come over to the Marlins, grind it out, but now you roll to the yard every day, knowing you're the starting shortstop of the Miami Marlins. Like, take me through mentally how you've changed, getting traded a few times and now cutting your teeth and getting a chance to play in the big leagues every day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been a journey. You know, I got drafted actually in this building about six and a half years ago, right?
Nice.
But yeah, you know, the journey through the minor leagues was, I guess, pretty smooth, besides me getting traded twice. But now to have this opportunity with my hometown team of the Marlins and just coming to the field after last year, seeing Louis and all those guys make the playoffs and being on the roster, but not getting to play too much in September last year. And now kind of the role has been reversed and kind of me getting to play a bunch. It's been great. It's been great for my development, and I'm really enjoying it.
What was your mindset when you were getting traded? Were you like, I'll show you? Did you understand it? Were you frustrated? How'd you take them?
My first one, I took a lot harder.
You were hard.
Yeah, you know, I loved my time with San Diego. It was my first organization that drafted me, and it was all.
But you know AJ Preller based on everything. If you're a prospect, it's.
I feel like I was, you know, the first stumbling block.
It should be considered a compliment.
Yeah.
I feel like I was a part of the first crop or the first wave of trades right there, right? But I didn't know what to expect. I found out kind of through Twitter and through a teammate that I thought I was going to get traded. I ended up getting traded. So I didn't really know what to expect. But my second time through, you know, I started to understand, like, you know, it's a business and it's not personal. So I didn't take it as personal and I just put my head down and worked.
Cliff and DeRosa are going to talk hitting with you in just a second, but I know you're very proud of your foundation, the XE9 Foundation. What's the purpose? Tell us a little bit about the inspiration for it.
It's centered by my camp. I do a kids camp at my old high school every offseason. This year will be the 7th one. It's focused on growing the game of baseball in South Florida and really all of Florida, and especially for minorities. I really want to grow the game, see a lot more African Americans and players of color playing baseball. You know, I think baseball is a beautiful game, and I would love to get kids like that playing baseball and not as many other sports.
Xavier and I first met, I believe it was this spring. We were at Marlins camp, and I saw him working the infield drills and just grinding through it. I was struck by how good at questions you were asking. Like, you were asking good questions. You had great feedback and conversation with the coach that was helping you with it, so I was really impressed. But these guys are going to talk hitting with you, so you're in good hands here. I'm going to go away. Guys, take it over.
Good job, man.
Yeah, I want to talk hitting and base running a little bit on the back end, teach some kids at home how to steal some bags. You want to give back to the youth. I think the skybox, that's the biggest thing I take from it. You guys come in and maybe there's a kid at home that's DVRing this and runs outside and says, I'm going to try what Xavier Edwards is doing at the dish. Right? So let's get into it. A little dig me session early, because I don't think people realize what you're doing in Miami. Run the tape right here. We'll bring up a few boards. You are absolutely raking. They DFA Tim Anderson, give you a chance to play every day, and I guarantee TA was good to you.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Great teammate. I love that guy.
Talk about your adjustments, though. I mean, you're getting a chance to play now. I mean, you didn't touch the field till May, right? You had a foot infection, but now you're back on the field.
Bring up the first board, Cliffy. Look at his batting average. Highest average this season, minimum 175 plate appearances. Right?
That's pretty awesome right there.
That's pretty cool right there.
Pretty cool.
So I always like to go first thing, and you talk about adjustments. I always like to go, I think you are an extension of who you were in high school, Little League. So real quick, give me into this side-by-side and don't run it. There's you at a baseball factory workout back in the day. Now, are you thinking similar things keys-wise? I try and tell parents, like, unless you want to break it down and be terrible for 2 years, you are going to be some type of the move you made
100%
in high school.
Not a lot of change, though.
Yeah, a little bit. I actually know. I remember this video.
You remember it?
I'm surprised you pulled this up. Yeah, I had a bit of a leg kick, kind of like a rock back. As I got into pro ball, I realized that probably wasn't going to work against upper-level pitching.
Okay.
So I adopted a toe tap about 2 years ago, in 2022 when I was with the Rays in Durham.
How long did it take you to, because I adopted a toe tap later in my career. It took me about a good 6 months to feel really good with it.
Yeah, I adopted in the offseason because I realized that my bat speed kind of ticked up a bit from it.
Yeah.
And then I got to the season and it kind of hit the fan, you know. I got to be honest.
You were struggling.
First year in AAA, I struggled. It hit the fan.
With the tap.
With the tap, I kind of abandoned it at the end of the season, and then I came back to it that off season. I was like, we're just gonna keep going with it because I think this is the right move moving forward. And I really put my head down, worked at it, and now I couldn't imagine myself.
Is it more of a tap like?
Run through
like,
this.
So you had a couple. Is it tap like, or you go on the toe? Because see, I kind of tapped and I sat back.
Right.
Let's see it.
I would say, I mean, if you roll it, but I would say it kind of varies on the pitcher. Sometimes I feel like guys are quicker or you know, out of the stretch, they're faster.
Yeah.
So I need to get my front foot down earlier.
Yeah.
Some guys with the windup, I feel like I have more time and I could wait a little longer.
Got it.
So it kind of depends. It varies on the pitcher, but I usually like to use it as some kind of gather.
You know, it's funny because when I first started toe tapping, I remember Rudy Jaramillo, the hitting coach down in Texas, says there's a reason why you're toe tapping. And I always felt like once I went, boom, I engaged my backside.
100%.
And I understood. I never did that. It was like this in high school, right? You just
Go
athlete them.
Yeah, you go get it.
Yeah.
Actually, for this game that I hit the cycle, before the game, or I guess I'll go some even further back, the night before we faced Savali, and I thought he was really tough. He mixed the ball well, changed speeds. He had me really battling. I felt like I was in two-strike mode the whole time. And then before this game was the very next day, I was telling our hitting coach, like, I feel like I found my backside. I feel like I feel it today. And I engaged it. I had it pretty much the whole game. And, you know, my swings kind of resulted in that, me having my backside the whole game.
Was that kid looking to do damage back in high school?
No. I've never really been looking to do damage. I spray the ball around, get on base, and do what I can to
All right, run
cause
this.
havoc.
Let's lock in, left side. So what's your approach at the plate? Clippy talked about what are you trying to do at the dish? Is it hard line drives up the middle? Are you thinking bottom hand to the baseball? Like, what are some of your keys when you're on deck walking to the plate?
I would say my keys are, big part of the field always, line drives and just tack pitches in the middle of the plate. I like to swing pretty early and I like to swing at strikes. You know, I think good things happen when you swing at strikes and get the pitcher in that little box right there.
Yeah.
And you see all these balls or pitches in that box, you know.
Short and quick.
When you get balls like that, you take it, and I trust my swing, it's really easy. Or not really easy, but it's a lot easier to get hits and get on base and take the swings that you want to take when you swing at pitches.
I got one for you. Your plate discipline has gotten a ton better. So you say the box. Talk me through like now recognizing this guy is coming at you. You kind of know, you have a feel. You have a feel of what that strike zone is, and you kind of have an understanding what you can get and not worry about the umpire
100%.
calling certain pitches.
100%.
So you trust whatever you see now more than ever.
Yes, definitely not more than ever. I mean, like I was saying, just swinging at good pitches. If I get good pitches, I know that I have a better chance of getting on base.
Yeah.
And putting a good swing, hitting the line drive up the middle, hitting it to left field, whatever it is. And if I deviate, if I start chasing the pitcher around the box, I start swinging, cutters in off the plate or fastballs out, changeups down below. Like you're just chasing the pitcher around, you're falling into their plan. That's what they want you to do.
Bring up that full screen, because your plate discipline is
It's awesome.
We have researcher to the stars, Eric Nays, that works on this show.
Yeah.
He dives in on everything. And he's like, his plate discipline improvements have been ridiculous. Largest increase in walk rate. Seventh largest drop in chase rate. So you're seeing the ball better, you're attacking what you know. Do you do the same thing, righty and lefty? Same thoughts?
I would say I try to. I'm not that drastic. I'm not really one that's like righty. I'm going to try to slug all the time, and lefty, I'm going to move the ball around. I would say mentally, I'm really similar on both sides. My stances and my swings are a bit different, but my mindset's the same.
Yeah, now you're spitting on stuff that you might have swung at earlier. This is the beauty of the game. That's the difference between playing every day and trying to impress to play every day, right?
Yeah, when you don't play as much, you feel like you got to get.
You got to swing.
You got to get 2 hits every game to get back in the lineup, and when you're playing every day, you don't really feel like you need to. You just go out there, take your at-bats, and the at-bats usually get better.
All right, help me out here, because I don't know. Cliff, were you a base stealer when you first came up?
Come on now.
All right, so I never was, right? Like, never had the green light. The Braves used to have this Braves burner shirt they give out in spring training. I could never get it, and I wanted it. I'm like, guys, give me a shot. They're like, no, you're slow. So I used to just take my BGs off, Nux, get my 2.5, and hope you gapped one. Right? Help some kid out at home. What are you thinking? Like, is it 2, 1, 2, and adjust? And then I'm reading keys. What am I thinking?
Yeah, definitely.
You're trying to steal bags.
The lead is huge. Make sure you have a big enough lead, of course, obviously.
I got you.
You got me? Yeah, make sure you have a big enough lead, get in a comfortable spot. But really what I think, I'm trying to steal off the pitcher a lot more than I am trying to steal the catcher. Obviously, the catcher gets the stats for it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to steal the pitcher. If he has a slow time to the plate, if he does a certain amount of head nods, if he moves his glove a certain way, if I could maybe see the grip of his
Are you watching
of his
video
pitches.
on this?
Yes, we watch video. We go over John Jay's the man, the best. We usually have a base running meeting after our hitters meeting,
Really?
talking about the pitcher and what he does, or what his tells are, or what his tendencies are. So that's huge, and that makes it a lot easier. And honestly, to not force it, as counterintuitive as it sounds. If you get on base one time, don't feel like you absolutely have to steal. That's when I got in trouble as a base stealer. Also, a few years back, I felt like I was forcing stolen bases because, you want to run, you want to get your numbers up, you want to get your bags. But it's like you have to let them come to you as much as anything, because if you try to go get them all the time, okay, here's a pitch out, here's a 1-0 high heater, and you're going to be out, 3-4 times when you feel like you shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
Because, I got a good jump, I had a good lead. All right, but here's a fastball at 95, chest high that the catcher can easily step and throw to. So
I like
try
that.
to think about the counts, make sure you have a big enough lead, and just what tendencies a pitcher is going to throw. If you have a big guy behind you, okay, like I got Berger behind me.
Yeah.
You don't want to groove that guy too many heaters because he can take any
it deep.
pitch out of the field at any time.
You good at board games?
That's great.
I don't play a ton.
Xavier, I love that. You're
you're
not
gonna-
stealing on the
we got
catcher.
one down here.
You're stealing on the pitcher.
It's gonna be tough.